it's a big stretch of games coming up for us. Obviously, it starts with a home game. We got 2 tough road games, but Florida's playing their best basketball of the year right now. Big win over Tennessee, and then they play Kentucky down to the wire at Kentucky. So we've got to play better than we did Saturday. We obviously got to do a good job with Castleton. I mean, he's one of the best players in the league. You know, he leads their team in all major statistical categories. He anchors their defense. They got the 10th best defense in the country on KenPom. So our offense is going to get tested. But, you know, I think we've had 2 good days of practice. We're getting good production from our bench. You know, it's going to be a big test for us, though. So it's a big home game for us coming down the wire. We don't have that many more home games left, so hopefully we can get the crowd to come out. Student section hopefully be packed because we don't have too many more left here in Coleman after this one.
Coach, you said it all season, but what does it mean when Florida beats Tennessee that no wins are easy in the SEC?
Yeah, I mean, there's really no easy wins. I mean, you look at, you know, some of the bottom teams in the league. I mean, LSU is at the bottom of the league. They gave us everything we could handle on the road there Saturday. South Carolina goes into Kentucky, wins at Rupp. So it's a good league. Every team's got really good players. Florida's a very good team that's getting better and better. They've got a new coach. They got a new system that, you know, took them a little longer to kind of, I'm sure, learn the system they want to put in. But they know what they're doing over there, and they got players, and they're playing their best basketball right now. So this is not going to be an easy win at all.
Hey, Nate. Noah said that Castleton ranks up there with some of the best bigs in the country. You know, you guys have faced Sheboy, you guys have faced Drew Timme. You know, how do you see him compare with those guys, and kind of what's the strategy with playing bigs that are good on both ends of the floor?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we obviously look at KenPom here and there. He's got, like, National Player of the Year rankings. I think Collins in the top 10 on that. So, you know, last week, if you look what he did last week, he averaged, I think, 23 and 9. He's a big that's skilled, scores with his back to the basket, can face the basket, can drive you, can pass the ball well, leads him in assists, I believe. So, I mean, Charles has to do a good job. He's different than, like, a Sheboy. You know, Charles has a lot of size on, like, Sheboy. Charles doesn't have a lot of size on Collins. Collins probably same size Charles is. I mean, he's big, long, tall, athletic. So, I mean, he kind of gives a different dimension. So it's not like Charles' length is going to bother Colin all that much. So, you know, we're going to – obviously Charles beat our first matchup on him. You know, we're going to have other options. Charles has been in foul trouble in the past. You know, I'm not sure that too many of our guys guard him one-on-one, but they also have shooting all over the floor. So that's what makes it difficult. Like, they don't make it easy to double him because you don't want to give up open threes to these shooters that they've got on the floor, you know. So, I mean, it's going to be a tough cover. Our guards are going to have to put a little pressure on the ball. We're going to have to make it difficult to get him the ball where he wants it. You know, and they've got good counters to when you try to take their stuff away. But if our intensity is where it needs to be, I think we can make things a little more difficult just in general overall. But, yeah, he's going to cause problems because of his length, and I just don't think Charles' length's going to bother him nearly like Charles' length has bothered some other bigs that he's done well against.
You talked about this being at home. You guys are obviously undefeated here. Just is there more to it than just being in a comfortable place and in front of your home crowds, or what has maybe led to the success at home?
I mean, we got 3 losses. 2 are neutrals and semi-neutral. The Birmingham one, and then 1 was on the road. But we haven't lost at home. I do think our crowd definitely. I mean, it's great for us when our student section's packed and everybody else in there into it and cheering us on. I also think, I haven't looked at the splits. Maybe you guys have the numbers. You know, we shoot in this gym on a regular basis. Obviously, we value the 3-ball. We're going to shoot a lot of shots. So we've had some pretty good shooting nights in here. You know, is it our guys being comfortable in the gym? Is it our crowd? Is it that we're – I don't know. We've been pretty good at home and on the road both. We've only lost 1 true road game too, but hopefully we can continue the winning at home up. But it's going to get tested here in this one.
We just talked to Clowney and Sears, who had both gone through a little bit of a shooting slump, and Noah said that you can't lose confidence. Just how good was it to see both of them have good shooting performances on Saturday? And then how do you encourage guys to keep their confidence up and keep shooting when they're maybe going through a little bit of a slump?
Yeah, I think it was big that they both shot it well. They need to see the ball go in. They both work really hard. You know, Ryland's been shooting the ball well, so it's good. Namari, Clowney. You know, I don't think you ever tell guys not to shoot the ball. Like that to me, that messes with their confidence. You're open, take it. Like, no, make sure we're taking good shots. That's, you know, the biggest thing. Let's make sure the shots we're taking are quality, open, uncontested shots as much as possible. And then, you know, are our feet set? Are we stepping into is a shot that we should be taking? Are we in rhythm? And then after that, it's like, are you putting your shots up outside of practice? Are you getting up shots? If you are, every shooter that's ever played goes through some slumps here and there. I don't think getting shy and passing up open shots is the way to come out of a slump. So get in the gym, put your work in, trust your work, and shoot the open ones. Make sure you're taking good shots.
Charles looked really good off the jump against LSU, and then he got a little banged up a little bit. How is he doing? And then also just how encouraging was it to see him get off to such a fast start?
Yeah, I mean, we had tried to get his legs back up on, you know, he's obviously 7 foot. Some of those guys, the wear and tear goes a little harder on their bodies. So we had rested him in a sense. Like, we cut his reps in practice, told him only to shoot free throws outside of practice. That was it. I thought we got his legs back up under him. He's fine now. I think he had 2 good days of practice. He started out great. We found him on a couple lobs. He's looking a lot more explosive. So we need him to just be a lot more explosive. Like, he's athletic. He's just got to show it. He's got to play in a stance more, be ready to show his athleticism, use it when he needs to, whether it's a block shot, catching a lob. I mean, you've seen him get up and down the floor pretty good, too. We need him to play a lot more athletic.
Just what have you seen from Jaden Bradley? You know, these past few games, it seems like his minutes and scoring might be down a little bit from where it was.
Yeah, I mean, part of that's Namari's playing better. I mean, if you remember before Namari went out against Houston, Jaden was coming off the bench. So it's hard to balance minutes with everybody. You know, we need Jaden to be an elite level defender. You know, some teams have been playing off him a little bit, and I think sometimes it might muddy up his pick and roll reads. We're trying to get him just to still have an attacking mindset. You know, he's a great passer. Trying to put him in better spots to where he can really use his passing ability. You know, and I thought he did a good job. He found Charles on right out of the gate. He's done a good job with that early. You know, when we put him in some stuff, we got to maybe try to go back to some of the early stuff we put him in some of these games. So, look, he's had a good couple days of practice. I think his energy's been up. He's one of those guys we really need to have him being an elite level defender when he's on the floor, though, to, you know, continue to get the minutes that he'd been getting before. So that's what we've been telling him.
Obviously, you mentioned the talent that's in the SEC with Sheway and Castleton, but with 10 guys on this team that can all be solid rotation players, what does it mean that when you practice and when you go against each other, that the best talent that these guys could face is really in-house or could be in-house?
Yeah, like today, our second unit, we keep track of all the games. We have a winner and a loser at the end of the day. Our second unit beat our first unit today, which I didn't even think our first unit was bad. It just, you know, when you got guys like Quinterly, Namari, Ryland on that second unit, they're shooting the ball well. Quinterly had it going pretty well. So, you know, if you look, I think over the last 5 contests, I think our bench is averaging 34 points a game. So when you get that kind of production off your bench, sometimes if you have a tough start to the game, you may get a boost. You know, Quinterly come in, get you going. Namari come in, make a couple shots like you did at LSU. You know, Ryland come in and get something going for us like that. So it's been good to have production off the bench. It's great to have spirited competitive practices, especially, you know, we played Saturday. We don't play till Wednesday, so Sunday's off. So we kind of really got after it Monday. It was the day after an off day, and it wasn't the day before a game. So thought we really got better on Monday and some stuff that we weren't very good at Saturday. But you can pick 2 competitive teams that can really get after it and get guys at every spot multiple guys at each position that can make each other better. So I think that's part of why we compete so hard in the games usually.
Yeah, you're kind of pushing forward here to March. Going back to 2 years ago's team with this one, what are similarities and differences, and what do you think maybe this team has to make a deeper run in March than the last one did?
Yeah, I mean, our free throw shooting's a lot better. I mean, if you look at that team 2 years ago, we shot 11 of 25 at the free throw line. I think we were 93% last game at the free throw line. We've had pretty consistent free throw shooting. That's better. We got multiple options, which as opposed to last year, last year JQ goes down. We were already thin in the backcourt, really limited us against Notre Dame. If somebody wasn't playing well, we just didn't have many options. This year, if somebody's not playing well, we got plenty of options to go to. I mean, we still haven't even seen a great version of Don Welch, who scored it pretty well his entire college career. So if we get him going, it just give us another option. So I think we're deeper. I think we shoot free throws better. We're a much better defensive team this year than last year. Now, defensively, we're similar to 2 years ago. We were pretty elite on both ends of the floor. We're a little better offensive team this year. So hopefully with the amount of firepower, the depth, the versatility, and then the fact that, so if you're kind of comparing, just our first year, there was no postseason play. But so if you're comparing the last 2 years, we're a way better defensive team than last year, and I think we got more depth and better free throw shooting team, a little bit better offensively than we were 2 years ago. Obviously, in college basketball, teams get judged a lot on how they finish in the NCAA tournament. It's a one-game deal. Like, as you see over the course of the college basketball season, any one game, anybody's susceptible to losing, anybody kind of can get a win. So to purely judge a program just on how they do in the NCAA tournament, I think is a little short-sighted. So, I don't want our guys thinking, Final Four bust or anything like that. We just need to play our best basketball in March, and we don't need to put all the extra pressure on us. But I do think we had a chance to make a run. When I was at Buffalo, we won 3 out of the 4 MAC tournaments up there. I think we were peaking at the end of the year in 3 out of those 4 years. I think you got to be smart with how hard you push your guys in practice, how all that type of stuff. But you also got to have some luck goes into it too. I mean, shoot, another team goes on fire. Sometimes, I mean, we didn't play great against Oklahoma, but boy, they shot it really well. Like, run up against somebody like that in the tournament, or you just can't make a shot in the tournament. I mean, there's some breaks you need to get to make some of these deep runs that some teams make in the NCAA tournament.
Just kind of briefly mentioned Dom there. I didn't see him play in the last game. Is that something where he's dealing with an issue, or maybe is that more managing minutes like you were talking about a minute ago?
I mean, it was more Namari was playing great, Rylan was playing good, and I just didn't get a chance to get him in. So I mean, look, he's been practicing really hard. He's a great kid. He's shown he can play at a high level in college. Like, we're still planning on using him. I thought he played really well these last 2 days in practice, so hopefully we find a spot to get him in there.